Today News Update.
This is your Barbados Today Evening News Update for Thursday, July 28. So glad you could join us. Locals being trained to construct low-income housing that will be provided under a partnership between the National Housing Corporation and Guyanese manufacturer Duravilla are expected to be able to complete builds in a week. That's according to manager of the Customer Service Department of the NHC, Roger Coppin, who said he expects hundreds of houses to go up over the next year and a half. He spoke to Barbados Today as the housing agency staged yet another viewing of the model homes on Thursday.
We are expecting 3-bedroom houses. We should have approximately 500 houses, hopefully between now and let's say the end of next year. But I know for sure that we're going to be having at least 30 by year end coming into Barbados. We have a mandate where we have to fulfill 2,000 houses within the first year. We are on the way, and we are looking forward to ensuring that the backlog that we have at National Housing Corporation will be looked after initially, because we have to get on that backlog. And we're going to be producing not only the house that you're seeing here, which is the Duravilla house, but we also have what we call steel frame houses, a new concept to Barbados coming out of China. And there's also a viewing today for one of those houses as well.
From as early as 9 a.m., several people gathered in Queen's Park to view a sample of one of Duravilla's 2-bedroom timber and prefabricated structures. Several areas have already been identified for the houses, including Rivers Crescent, St. Philip, Searles Christchurch, Lower Bernese, and Cutting Road, Hackett Hall, St. Michael, Brighton, St. George, Bullen, St. James, and Concordia, St. Philip. Coppin is pleased with the overwhelming interest in the homes, and he says every effort will be made to speed up approvals.
With the applications, we're going to be having a number of board meetings coming up. So our board, the recommendations will be made to our board, and I'm quite sure that they are aware of what we are doing, and they will be on board to ensure that they approve applications in a timely manner, because that is also a part of the process. So each one of us would have bought into the process so that we can expedite matters in a timely manner.
Central Bank Governor Cleviston Haynes suggests the government's recent relief measures may be the best approach to tackling the high cost of living. As he reported that the Barbados economy grew by 10.5% for the first 6 months of the year on Wednesday, Governor Haynes cautioned that increasing wages is not a good idea for the still recovering economy.
The government will have to make some very difficult choices in order to be able to facilitate an increase in wages. Trying to chase prices through wage increases, I think most economists will tell you that that is not really a good idea. What the government has tried to do, which I think is perhaps more recommended, is try to be more targeted in some of the relief it can provide to those who are going to be most impacted by what we hope is a temporary rise in the cost of living. In other words, eventually we hope that oil prices will start to taper off, which means that transportation costs, electricity costs, and so on will start to come down. That what is happening as it relates to food, that will also begin to repair itself, not necessarily in 2022, but hopefully in the near future. So we have to be careful not to try to apply a balm to what may be a quote-unquote temporary situation. Obviously, temporary shocks can get built in and become permanent, but the solution off the top is not necessary to be addressed through wage increases.
Meanwhile, government is hoping to whet the appetite of investors and boost confidence in the economy with the rollout of the proposed Barbados Optional Savings Scheme Plus investment bonds by the end of August. While some economists suggest that it will be a difficult sell, given that investors are not comfortable following the debt restructuring process in 2018, Governor Haynes suggests the bonds are a good investment.
As the economy starts to grow again, which is a critical aspect, you're beginning to see the debt to GDP ratio revert on the downward path that it had begun. That is an important indicator. You look at the stock of reserves which the country has been able to accumulate over the last few years. That should also give persons some comfort, and to recognize that the new instruments will also provide new investment opportunities. We're all complaining of how low the interest rates in our banking system are. So therefore, this also provides investment opportunities for individuals to be able to get income flow from their funds. So for us, it's going to be a learning curve in terms of what do people actually want, but what we would like to see is for an increase in take-up by the private sector.
Sex workers in Barbados are fearful of being attacked and abused while plying their trade. That's according to President of the Global Adult Industry Association, Charlie Spice Lewis, who urged police to ramp up patrols in areas where sex workers are known to operate. His comments come in the wake of 44-year-old Guyanese sex worker Carolyn Beard being killed last Friday night.
The feeling is that they do not give sex workers the same attention when it comes to investigation as they do others. And also people who are from the criminal element, they too feel that police do not give as much attention to crimes committed against sex workers, and this empowers them more to commit crimes against sex workers. So to decriminalize it would remove those contributors, to crime against sex workers.
Regional and international news coming up after this short break.
Pure oxygen is way more than just water. We infuse pristine water with over 1 billion tiny oxygen bubbles using our state-of-the-art process. The benefits of additional oxygen are huge, from strengthening your immune system to increasing energy levels, stamina, and sports performance. And that's not all. It also improves skin health, helps you sleep better, and reduces stress. Join the movement of people experiencing the benefits of pure oxygen. It's not hype, it's science.
Continuing with regional developments, Trinidad and Tobago's Attorney General Reginald Amor says a comprehensive system of bail reform is currently under consideration by his office. The details in this news report from TTT News.
A media release from the Office of the Attorney General says the focus of bail reform is to encompass legislation that will secure the rights of all citizens of Trinidad and Tobago and to take into account the views of key stakeholders and experts, including criminologists. In a ruling delivered on Thursday, the Judicial Committee of the Privy Council dismissed the appeal brought by the Attorney General of Trinidad and Tobago. The ruling stems from a lawsuit brought against the Attorney General by Anand Ramlogan SC on behalf of former murder-accused Akili Charles. The Privy Council determined that the provisions contained in Section 5.1 and the first schedule of the Bail Act 1994 are not existing laws so as to be saved from constitutional challenge and is not reasonably justifiable under the Constitution.
On the international front, authorities in Italy are being overwhelmed by a flood of migrants, refugees, and asylum seekers landing on Lampedusa in the Mediterranean Sea.
They survived the perils of the Mediterranean. But once they reached the shores of Lampedusa, many migrants, refugees, and asylum seekers see a Europe that isn't quite what they'd imagined.
Hello.
This is the Welcome Center. In recent days, it's reached more than 6 times its capacity. People sleep on the ground, surrounded by human waste and garbage. There are no showers. The stench is overpowering.
It's very dirty and very, very bad, so bad.
It's taken this Syrian refugee 3 years to reach Europe. He paid a smuggler $3,500 for a boat ride to Lampedusa, one of the closest European destinations on the route from North Africa.
I work in Libya, but my back broken. I have to go to Europe.
Before the recent wave of arrivals, the government says more than 34,000 asylum seekers had reached Italy this year. In the last 10 days, hundreds of migrants have been arriving daily. The authorities can't keep pace.
In Italia non c'è un'emergenza migranti.
This is not a migrant emergency. Italy welcomed 100,000 Ukrainians and we didn't have an emergency. Why aren't we treating these people in a humane way?
Save the Children says there are 300 minors in the center. Many are alone.
We are trying to ensure they know their rights, offer them psychological support for their trauma, and create a space for them to play. The children express their feelings by painting their homes and the crowded boats, people drowning, and sharks.
This voyage is often one of loss, violence, and pain. Having made it this far, these people are hoping their journey is almost over, and they'll soon be able to start the lives they've long envisioned in Europe.
That's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper email updates and like us on Facebook. Sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumi Media and bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also hear us on Capital Media HD 99.3 FM.